Right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Marketing Gamble. If you don't know me, my name's Louis. This is a podcast that I host every week where I just share the lessons I learn as I'm starting my business at university, and it's a marketing business as well, so all the marketing lessons and things. In today's episode, I actually wanted to break down like how to find that business idea so you can start something, because I know that when I first started I really wanted to start my own business. I just didn't know what it was, and I used to think of ideas but they never really seemed to be like the idea that I should do. So in today's episode I thought I'd break down how to find that idea so you can start your own business and really do well with it. But before I do that, at the start of every episode I break down and kind of document how the last week has been going for my business, so people can see like what I'm doing, but also for myself as well. I thought I would start with that. So the last week I've just got back from uni now. So normally the background is my uni room. As you can see now, this is not my uni room. The Christmas trees in the background. I'm back at home, which is where you'll see some of the first episodes actually, because that's where I started it in my in. I started it here before I was back at uni in the summer. So I've just got back, and one of the things I've really struggled with as I've come back is in uni I had a really good routine. So I would like go to the library, I'd get a lot of work done, and it'd be quite easy for me to work a lot of hours in the day because I'd just wake up in my uni room, I'd like do what I need to do in the morning, and then I just go to the library and I'd get all my uni work and all my business work. I'd just do it all in the library, and then I'd go home at the end of the day like I was working. Your typical job, I would just go to the library like my office, work, and get loads of work done. And what I found really difficult is coming back. When I came back, I was like, okay, I'm going to have a bit of a rest. But so the first day I had a bit of a break, didn't do any work, and I found it really hard to get back into it. It's like today, for example, when I woke up, I noticed that I was just doing everything but working. So like, it took me a very long time to actually sit down and make this episode, and I realised like as I was like doing jobs that weren't really jobs. Like I was checking how my LinkedIn content had been going, and I was getting like a coffee and stuff like that, and I was talking to people, which is fine. But like really, I was just procrastinating because I didn't want to do this, because I found it. I've come out of the rhythm, and now I'm coming back into, and now I'm trying to start work. It's difficult. So I found that quite difficult. But it's one of those things where you kind of just got to do it, and then like it's not gonna, you can't just like sit there and wait to feel like working. Like you just got to do it, and then you'll start to work again. So that's what I've done. I've just like sat down and been like, right, okay, I'll do it. But in terms of how the week's been going business wise, it's been really good. I've had a lot of interest to happen after Christmas. As people might know, I've got like a waiting list now, which is really cool, because I've gone from like when I first started the podcast not having lots of clients and struggling to get clients, so now I've got like a waiting list of clients, which is really cool. And I've got another video on that if you want to see like how I did that. So that's basically where I'm up to now. Client wise, everything's going well, just getting the campaigns ready for after January. Not after January, for January. And then, yeah. But it's going well. I'm just finding it difficult to get back into doing work from home because I'm not used to it. So that's what I'm struggling with at the moment. But it's just one of those things where you just got to do it anyway. And then you'll get back into it. So what I wanted to talk about then is how to find that perfect business idea, because I think a lot of people are always, I was speaking to somebody yesterday and they were saying like they always wanted to start their thing, they really wanted to start it, but they just can't, they don't know what that idea is, they don't know what it is that they can do. And I remember when I first started, I used to have ideas but they never really felt like, like a good idea. I think what a lot of people do, and what I used to do, is kind of sit and wait for it, like sit and wait for that perfect idea to come into your head, like sit and wait for the next iPhone or for the next ChatGPT, whatever the idea is, something that's really innovative and crazy, and they sit there and they wait for it, and they're like, I'm not going to start a business until it's something incredible. And Russell Brunson says like people try and like reinvent the wheel, they try and do this crazy new thing that's really cool, that's really also really hard to do. And I think that's actually a mistake. So when I'm making this video about the dream idea, I don't think there is a dream idea. I think the way you look at it is, rather than sitting and waiting for an idea, you sit and you look at what the problems are in an industry that you work in or a business that you interact with a lot, because that's how all the best ideas start, with a problem. So if you look at like iPhone, for example, obviously the BlackBerry phone it had a few problems, like with a lot of the screen, like there was only a little bit of the screen because it was taken up by the keyboard. So Steve Jobs thought, oh, that's a problem. I could probably fix that by making it all the screen and making the keyboard the screen. And he also thought the design was a problem. It was a bit clunky, so he could change that. And if you look at some of the most successful businesses as well, like they all find a market that has a problem, and then they think, okay, how could I solve that problem? And then the solution becomes their idea. So Russell Brunson, who I absolutely love, and I've already mentioned, like his whole thing was funnels. He loved funnels, but he noticed that just a lot of entrepreneurs who start out, they have a real problem getting people to buy their stuff or become a customer. And he had the solution, funnels, and he was like, more entrepreneurs should be using funnels because it solves that problem. It's a solution. He didn't like sit there and think like, do you know what's a really cool idea? Funnels. I'm going to go and give it to all these people. He thought these people have this problem and funnels would really help them fix that. I think that's where people maybe go wrong, and what I did definitely go wrong with at the start is that I was trying to think of an idea that people might like, rather than thinking of thinking of all the problems they have and then trying to come up with a solution. Because at the end of the day, I could make an idea that I think people will like, but I can only think people will like it. I don't know, and I could make this idea, make it really cool, put it out there, and no one can want it because I just want people to want it because it's my idea. But if I start with a problem that people have and I come up with a solution that genuinely fixes that problem, then those people will actually, like, when I've made it, they'll be like, yeah, I want that because it fixes the problem. It's the same thing I've noticed with the marketing that I do for mortgage brokers. They have a huge problem getting leads. So I'm trying to build a best solution possible I can to help them with that. And I think that's why I get so much demand for it, is because I didn't start with an idea and go like, I'm going to do marketing for mortgage brokers. I noticed that mortgage brokers had a problem generating leads, and I've gone, right, I'm going to get as good as I possibly can at marketing for mortgage brokers and give them that solution. And then you make it more valuable by noticing other problems that they have with things. And that's kind of what that's the first thing I wanted to mention, was about this dream idea is not really an idea that you sit there and you think like, oh, what's a really cool idea that no one's done? That's like, what's a gap in the market? What's a gap in the market? And it's like, yeah, you should be looking for that. But rather than looking at it as like, what's the idea? Look at it as like, what's the problem? And the problem and your solution would be the gap in the market. Same thing with Alex Hormozy. Like, he noticed that a lot of gyms have problems getting customers, and he had all these, because he was a gym owner, but he noticed all these problems getting customers, and he made Gym Launch, which solved all those problems. So he had so much interest from the thousands of gyms because it was so helpful, and that's why it was so well. And he did so good at he was so good at providing that solution. And I think that's what the point is. What I'm trying to get at is that the dream idea is not like something you sit and you think about. It's like you look at an industry that you're trying to target, or a business that you interact with, and you just think about the problems. So when I started to think about this, I was working at a bar at the time as a bartender, and I was like looking at this bar and I was like, that there could be done a bit quicker. If we moved these drinks to this section, it would be done faster. The customer complains about this sort of thing, so if we fix that, and then they're all problems. So then if I wanted to open a restaurant, I would know to fix that, and that, fix those problems, and then I would have a better restaurant and a better business. So it all comes from problems, is what I've noticed. So yeah, if you're, really eager to start a business, which I was so eager to start a business, and I was always waiting for that idea. Rather than waiting, what you could do proactively is look at other businesses and think, okay, what problems do they have that I could solve? And most businesses have a marketing problem, so that's why they're very good to start. But then there are also other problems like that people have in their day-to-day lives. Like, go through your day and think about all the inconveniences that you have and how you could fix them. So a good example, I've just got one right in front of me. It's like this mouse that I have. It charges by plugging it in at the bottom. So I can't use the mouse and charge it. So that's a problem. So I could fix that by making a mouse that you can charge as you do it. Like, there's something you could start. And obviously, as you start it and you get into it, you'll realize if it's a good idea. You'll research and see all the other mouses and then think, okay, can I compete with that? But that's what I mean. Like, rather than sitting there and thinking about your idea, go away and look at all the inconveniences in your life and all the problems that businesses might have, or that your family might have, or that you have, anything, and think, okay, could I make a solution that's valuable and make a really good solution so that people will want it? So yeah, that's basically just a quick little episode on think about the problems, not the ideas. When you're trying to think of an idea to start a business, what problems can you solve? Because that really helped me. So yeah, if you enjoyed the episode, as always, ask any questions that you have about starting businesses or anything, because I love answering them and I also love helping. So any questions about anything, put it in the comments and I reply to every single one. So and yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. But other than that, I will see you in next week's episode. Although next week's episode will be Christmas, so I may not do an episode that week. I may miss it, but we'll see. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.